Hello and welcome to In Depth. I'm Tina Jha. Champaran Satyagraha was India's first civil disobedience movement. It is 101 years old now and immortalized in our history as the first peasant movement that attracted nationwide attention and inspired India's masses to join the freedom struggle against the British. It was this movement that established Mahatma Gandhi as the foremost leader of the Indian nationalist movement and his weapon of Satyagraha as the tool of Indian civilian resistance. Today, India has returned to Champaran for a different Satyagraha. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has called it Swachhagraha. It is a sanitation drive that seeks to achieve the dream of a clean India by the 150th birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi. Today's edition of In Depth charts the journey from Satyagraha to Swachhagraha, the cleanliness mission in Champaran. The Champaran Satyagraha was not just the start of an independence movement, it marked an Indian renaissance. In that, we are not only celebrating the occasion today, but also looking for its relevance in the present scenario. More than 100 years ago, on the 10th of April 1917, Mahatma Gandhi arrived in Muzaffarpur. He was on his way to Champaran, where an anxious population was waiting for him. They included distressed farmers, people who were burdened by taxes. Champaran was in dire need of a Masiha who would answer their concern. Gandhi, on the other hand, had come with a clear notion about Satyagraha. All he needed was an opportunity to try it out. Champaran provided him just that. And that's how it became the perfect base of his Satyagraha movement. When Gandhi reached Champaran, he was shocked to see filth all over the town. Streets filled with dirt, adding to the general lack of hygiene.
गांधी जी को उस जगह की तलाश थी जहां से वो अपना काम शुरू कर सकें। देश को एक ऐसे आदमी की तलाश थी जो उसके सवालों को अपना सवाल समझे, जो मंच पर नहीं सिर्फ बात करता हो, लोगों के बीच में जाता हो। तो समझिए दो ज़रूरतें आपस में मिल गईं और गांधी चंपारण पहुंच गया। गांधी चंपारण कौन सी जगह है ये भी नहीं जानते थे, चंपारण में किसी को पहचानते नहीं थे। जो ले गए थे सज्जन उन्हीं एकमात्र उनके परिचय थे, लेकिन वहाँ पहुंचकर उन्होंने अपना परिचय खड़ा कर लिया और वहाँ की जो मुख्य समस्या थी उसको समझा उन्होंने। तो नील की खेती और उसके कारण होने वाला जो भी अन्याय था वो सब तो दिखता ही था, लेकिन गांधी ने दो चार और बातें भी देख ली वहाँ, जो आज भी भारतीय समाज की मूल समस्या है।
A century has passed since Gandhi's visit to Champaran. His Satyagraha was a call that the nation heeded. It became the start of a unique non-violent agitation that ultimately gave India its independence from the British. But that Satyagraha failed to free Champaran from its dust and filth. Over the years, Champaran became a place that laid the foundation for a fight against exploitation and colonialism. Today, well after the movement completed its centenary, the government has started a new movement, another Satyagraha, this time to achieve cleanliness. On the 10th of April 2018, in East Champaran, over 20,000 Swachh volunteers or Swachhagrahis started the Satyagraha to Swachhagraha movement.
100 वर्ष पूर्व चंपारण में देश भर से लोग आए थे। गांधी जी के नेतृत्व में गली गली जाकर काम किया था। 100 वर्ष बाद आज उसी भावना पर चलते हुए देश के अलग अलग हिस्सों के आए लोगों ने यहां के उत्साही नौजवानों, स्वच्छाग्रहियों के साथ कंधे से कंधा मिलाकर दिन रात काम किया है।
Today, Champaran is not just a town, a place or a small district, and Gandhi is not just one freedom fighter. They've all evolved with changing times. Champaran now implies a place that teaches how to overcome difficulties, the problem of cleanliness. And the Gandhi of yesterday is the Swachhagrahi of today, who keeps not only his surroundings and environment clean, but also the mind, the soul, and the thoughts. It's India's return to Champaran. With inputs from Leena Sharma, Zega Murtaza's report for Rajya Sabha TV. Indigo cultivation has a very deep-seated link with India's fight for independence. Back in 1859, peasants in Bengal waged a war against the British. It was called the Indigo Revolt. From Bengal to Bihar, the revolt of the farmers spread till it reached Champaran. Let's look at how it all led to the historic Satyagraha that ignited the flame for a national civil disobedience movement.
It was the time of the First World War and the entire world was in a state of turmoil. It was also the time when Champaran was simmering. The farmers of Champaran were suffering in abject poverty. The cultivation of indigo had ruined them. British started the Tinkathia system, under which farmers had to plant 3 out of every 20 parts of his land with indigo, and that's when their plight began. Landlords decided which tracts of land were to be used for this before the sowing season, which meant that it was not in the hands of farmers to decide on which part of the land indigo will be sown. The price of the crop too was very less. There was a rule for the payment of 19 rupees per 20 parts of land, but that was also not paid to the farmers, and there was no system for compensation.
नील की खेती करनी ही पड़ती थी अनिवार्यतः। उस नील की खेती को उन्हें प्राथमिकता देनी होती थी और जो उन्होंने दाम दे दिया तय करके वो लेना पड़ता था। उन नील की प्रोसेसिंग में भी उनको मजदूरी करनी पड़ती थी, कम से कम मजदूरी में काम करना पड़ता था और प्रशासन उन पर तरह तरह की टैक्स लगा देता था। यानी खेती करते हुए भी वो एक सुखी जीवन नहीं जी सकते थे, बहुत ही गरीबी में, अभाव में, हर समय प्रताड़ना के डर से जीते थे वो।
At that time, there were 70 indigo factories in Champaran, which influenced the entire district, spread between 2 to 5 miles. These factories had their own areas for indigo crop. Farmers who used to cultivate food crops were now forced to grow indigo. Since it was the time of the First World War, British needed more money. As a result, the farmers were pressurized to grow indigo. Refusal to grow indigo resulted in beatings. It was not that farmers had not made efforts to change the situation. They submitted a petition to the collector in 1907, giving details of their plight. The result of this petition was a relief from some taxes, which included 1 anna, which was charged by the factories whenever their revenue slumped. It was only in 1914 that this taxation stopped. But if the farmers were unable to pay the tax imposed on them, they were liable for punishment.
काम कहाँ से शुरू हो, क्योंकि देश तो बहुत कम जानते हैं वो। ऐसे में एक बिहार के शुक्ल जी हैं, किसान हैं चंपारण के, जो बहुत पहले से, गांधी के पहले से कांग्रेस में घूमते रहे हैं ये कहने के लिए कि भाई हमारे यहाँ बहुत बुरी हालत है, नील की खेती के कारण किसानों का जीना मुश्किल हो गया है, लेकिन कोई हमारी बात सुनता नहीं है। तो आप में से कोई चले और देखे वहाँ, तो सबके पास जाते हैं, जितने बड़े कांग्रेस के नेता हैं उन सबको बुलाने जाते हैं, लेकिन हर कोई उनको ये समझाता है कि नहीं, अभी आज़ादी की बहुत बड़ी लड़ाई चल रही है, छोटी छोटी बातों के लिए समय नहीं है। ऐसे में गांधी नाम का एक आदमी आता है जो उस समय तक महात्मा गांधी नहीं है, एम.के. गांधी है।
The condition of farmers became deplorable as they increasingly cultivated indigo and other cash crops. Their debt increased and the cultivation of indigo destroyed their land too. Whenever farmers tried to grow other crops, they were unsuccessful. As a result, there was a famine in Champaran. With no way out, one of the farmers, Rajkumar Shukla, wrote to Mahatma Gandhi and told him and the Congress about the situation, appealing him to visit Champaran. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
The Champaran Satyagraha was India's first civil disobedience movement. It was launched by Mahatma Gandhi to protest against the injustice meted out to tenant farmers in the Champaran district of Bihar. It was during this movement that Mahatma Gandhi made his first experiments in Satyagraha and replicated them elsewhere.
In pre-independence India, the British imposed a system called Tinkathia in Champaran district of Bihar. Under the system, the tenant farmers were forced to grow indigo in 3 kathas of every bigha. That translates to 3 out of 20 parts of their land. The farmers were poorly compensated for their indigo crop, and if they refused to plant indigo, they were taxed heavily. Devoting land for indigo left them with little land for production of food crops. The neglect of food crops resulted in scarcity and a famine in the region. Exploited farmers had no money and no food. In 1916, at the 31st session of the Congress in Lucknow, a representative of farmers in Champaran, Rajkumar Shukla, met Mahatma Gandhi and persuaded him to see for himself the misery of the indigo farmers. On April 15, 1917, Mahatma Gandhi reached Motihari and then Champaran, where he started his groundbreaking satyagraha.
पहला तो हमने कहा भय मुक्ति का, दूसरा अपने बूते स्वावलंबी जीवन जीने का। खेती में हम वह उत्पादन करेंगे जो हमारी आवश्यकताओं की पूर्ति करता हो। नील की खेती हमारी आवश्यकता की पूर्ति नहीं थी, वो बाध्यकारी थी नील का व्यवसाय करने वालों के लिए, हमारे ऊपर थोपी गई थी। नील हम खा नहीं सकते थे, तो दूसरा आगे हम जो कंज्यूम करें वो हम प्रोड्यूस करें। ये दूसरी शिक्षा का क्षेत्र है। शिक्षा वह जो हमें स्वावलंबी बनाए, भय मुक्त करे, निर्भयता के रास्ते पर चलने की सीख दे, वो शिक्षा। गांधी ने नई तालीम के प्रयोग वहाँ किए।
It was also at Champaran that the transformation of Gandhi began from Mohandas to Mahatma. When he reached Champaran, nobody recognized him since it was barely 2 years before that he had returned from his 21-year-long residence in South Africa. But when he reached Champaran, he was greeted by large crowds of peasants. Local authorities did not find his visit welcome. They unsuccessfully tried to dissuade Gandhi from undertaking his inquiry. But Gandhi was determined not to leave until the issues related to indigo farming were investigated. He was served a court summons for his defiance. Gandhi received the summons without demur but refused to leave Champaran. The announcement of his inquiry had already captivated the imagination of the peasants. His popularity skyrocketed as the news of his prosecution broke. On April 18, 1917, Mahatma Gandhi appeared in Motihari court accompanied by more than 2,000 local residents. The magistrate was thrown into a tizzy. He wanted to defer the trial, but to his surprise, Gandhi wanted to plead guilty. He read out a statement in court which read, "As a law-abiding citizen, my first instinct would be, as it was, to obey the order served on me. But I could not do so without doing violence to my sense of duty to those for whom I've come. I feel that I could not just now serve them only by remaining in their midst. I could not, therefore, voluntarily retire. Amid this conflict of duties, I could only throw the responsibility of removing me from them on the administration. I have disregarded the order served upon me, not for want of respect for lawful authority, but in obedience to the higher law of our being, the voice of conscience." The Motihari trial collapsed. The Lieutenant Governor of Bihar ordered the withdrawal of case against Mahatma Gandhi. The collector wrote to him saying he was free to conduct the inquiry. But this small step was a giant leap forward in the history of the freedom struggle. Gandhiji called this incident the first object lesson in civil disobedience for the country. It was widely reported in newspapers, heralding the advent of the Gandhian era. The second victory for the Champaran movement came on June 4, 1917. Sir Edward Gate, the Lieutenant Governor of Bihar, declared the formation of a formal inquiry committee with Mahatma Gandhi aboard. Gate had to concede that Gandhi and other volunteers could remain in Champaran and that Gandhi would not cease to be an advocate of the tenants. The Champaran Inquiry Committee began its preliminary meeting on July 11, 1917. After several sittings and spot visits, the committee submitted its final report on October 4th. The government accepted almost all its recommendations to the benefits of the tenants. The principal recommendation was the complete abolition of the Tinkatia system. This dealt a major blow to the British planters who became resentful, but they could not prevent the passage of the Champaran Agrarian Act in Bihar and the Orissa Legislative Council on March 4, 1918. Almost a year after Gandhi's arrival, the exploitative Tinkatia system had finally been abolished.
आश्चर्य होगा आपको जान करके कि पूरे चंपारण की लड़ाई में गांधी जी ने कभी एक जुलूस नहीं निकाला, एक नारा नहीं लगा, वहाँ कोई धरना नहीं हुआ, किसानों का कोई सत्याग्रह नहीं हुआ, कोई झंडा नहीं लगा। यानी जिन जिन चीज़ों को हम सत्याग्रह समझते हैं उनमें से कोई भी चीज़ आपको चंपारण की पूरी लड़ाई में मिलेगी नहीं। एक ही काम गांधी जी ने ये किया कि भाई किसान जो था, जो सच में नील की खेती से परेशान था, उसको कहा तुम बोलो तो कि तुम परेशान हो, ज़बान खोलो। और अंग्रेज़ अधिकारी जो थे वहाँ के, जो नीले लोग थे, जिनकी मिलें थी वहाँ, वो अच्छी तरह जानते थे कि इन लोगों को इतना दबा कर और डरा कर हमने रखा है कि कोई बोलेगा नहीं।
There have been several peasant movements before and after the Champaran movement of 1917. But what makes the Champaran Satyagraha significant is the fact that it was the first time that bridges had been built between the peasants and the other sections, especially the middle class. Besides this, the idea that Britishers could be forced to bend caught the imagination of thousands of Indians who were fighting for freedom. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
The Champaran Satyagraha laid the foundation stone of India's struggle for independence. It was an exceptional event that caught the imagination of the nation like nothing before. Mahatma Gandhi learned his first lessons in politics in Champaran, just as many other freedom fighters of the country did. It was only after the Champaran Satyagraha that Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi came to be known as Mahatma Gandhi. This is where he really understood the Indian society and the problems they faced. It was in 1917 that the farmers' movement and the national movement came together for the first time.
मतलब एक तरह की जड़ता टूटी। सबसे बड़ी बात है ना, जैसे आप अंधेरे कमरे में पहली खिड़की खोलती हैं, तो चंपारण गुलाम भारत के अंधेरे में खोली हुई गांधी जी की पहली खिड़की है। वो खुली तो लोगों को विश्वास हुआ कि आदमी सही जगह ले जाता है। गांधी जी को समझ में आया कि खिड़कियां खोली जा सकती हैं। यह बात दक्षिण अफ्रीका में हुई, भारत में भी होगी।
Champaran was also Mahatma Gandhi's first major political platform, and this is where he first emerged as a political leader.
उनके सामने ये स्पष्ट हो गया कि स्वराज्य की लड़ाई एलीट क्लास की लड़ाई से भिन्न होगी, ये मासेस की लड़ाई होगी। इसलिए उन्होंने दो तीन तरह से मासेस को तैयार किया। एक तो जैसा चंपारण में किया, समाज को निर्भय बनाया। दूसरे, आर्थिक गुलामी से मुक्ति की दिशा में उन्होंने खादी ग्रामोद्योग का प्रयोग किया, आगे बढ़ाया।
Historians believe that Gandhi learned several lessons in Champaran. He understood the true nature of the movement as well as recognized that part of the Indian society which would help him in carrying the nation forward.
जो पीड़ित है, जो परेशान है, जो शिकार है, उसको अपनी बात कहने की हिम्मत दी उन्होंने, जो पहले नहीं होती थी। क्योंकि गुलाम तो इसी कारण से ना कि हम बोल नहीं पाते थे, वो बोलने की शुरुआत उन्होंने कराई।
After 1917, Mahatma Gandhi became fully involved in the Indian independence movement, and an atmosphere of nationalism gradually spread throughout the country. After Champaran, the Kheda Satyagraha, followed by the non-cooperation movement, changed the direction of the country. Experts believe that the seeds for the freedom struggle were sown in Champaran. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV. Father of the nation Mahatma Gandhi once said, "Cleanliness is next to godliness." In many ways, he considered sanitation and hygiene as important as political independence. Gandhi's Clean India dream was not just about ensuring sanitation, but also a vision about how people of the country can contribute towards this goal.
A British official once asked Mahatma Gandhi what he would do if he were made the viceroy for a day. Gandhi said he would clean up the slums near the Raj Bhavan. Gandhi's reply gives us an idea of how serious he was about cleanliness. Mahatma Gandhi once said that sanitation is more important than independence. For him, sanitation was a very important social issue. Mahatma Gandhi realized early in his life that poor state of sanitation and cleanliness in India needed a much greater attention, almost at the same level that was being devoted to attain Swaraj.
उन्होंने देखा कि भारत चंपारण के जीवन में भयंकर गंदगी है चारों बगल, और उस गंदगी का किसी को एहसास नहीं है, उसी में लोग रहते हैं। गांधी विदेश से आए थे तो वहाँ की जो साफ़ सफाई का एक स्तर है उसके कारण उनको वो चीज़ और खटक रही थी। दूसरा, उन्होंने देखा कि चंपारण में पढ़ने लिखने की बच्चों की कोई व्यवस्था ही नहीं है, तो उन्होंने कहा कि नहीं, पढ़ाई लिखाई शुरू करानी पड़ेगी। आप सोच कर अगर देखेंगे तो इन दोनों का संबंध व्यक्ति के मजबूत होने से है। जो लोग अपने पर्यावरण के बारे में, अगल बगल के बारे में सावधान होते हैं, वो सफाई पर ध्यान रखते हैं।
Along with the struggle for India's independence, Gandhi led a constant struggle for sanitation, cleanliness and efficient management of all categories of waste in South Africa and in India. Gandhi's concerned sanitation was part of his Satyagrah campaign since the days he spent in South Africa. Explaining the importance of cleanliness in India, he emphasized the need to include it immediately in school and higher education courses. As most Indians then lived in villages, Gandhi had started paying attention to village sanitation. During the Champaran Satyagraha in 1917, Gandhi found the villages insanitary with filthy lanes, stinking around wells and people suffering from skin diseases. He took up sanitation work on priority. With a set of volunteers, tried to make one village ideally clean, swept the roads and courtyards and motivated villagers to work for sanitation. Once Mahatma Gandhi was travelling in third-class compartment of the Indian Railway. Looking at the condition of the compartment, he felt disheartened. On 25th September 1917, he wrote to the Indian Railways that looking at the unsanitary conditions of the coaches, railways should discontinue its services. Gandhi's ideas on sanitation and hygiene were more important than political independence. For him, the drive for cleanliness in society was an integral part in bringing about a casteless and free society. At every Congress meeting, he raised the issues of domestic sanitation, personal hygiene and cleanliness. In a weekly paper, Young India, on November 19, 1925, Gandhi wrote his thoughts regarding the cleanliness in India. He said, "For me, cleanliness is next to godliness. We can no more see God's blessing with an unclean body than with an unclean mind."
गांधी ने वास्तव में तो मोतिहारी जाकर के वास्तविक वस्तु स्थिति का दर्शन पाया। समाज में कहाँ है, हमारे देश में क्या स्थिति है, गरीबी है, भुखमरी है, अशिक्षा है, आपस में भेदभाव है। ये जो अपने समाज की कमज़ोरियाँ हैं, एक तरफ अंग्रेज़ी व्यवस्था के दमनकारी स्थिति का भी उन्होंने दर्शन किया और दूसरी तरफ गांव समाज में क्या कमजोरियां हैं उसको भी देखा।
Under the guidance of Gandhi, Indians finally gained freedom. He made cleanliness and sanitation an integral part of the Gandhian way of living. His dream was total sanitation for all. But 100 years after his Champaran Satyagraha, his dream of a clean India is still unfulfilled. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha Television.
And that's it from us in this edition of In Depth. We'll see you same time tomorrow. Thanks for watching.